One of the most exciting scientific findings of the past half-century has been the discovery of widespread trophic cascades. In simple terms, this is when an action at the very top of the food chain sets off a chain of effects that echo all the way down to the smallest plants and creatures. We all understand that wolves are predators. They hunt deer and other animals. But what's less obvious is how their return ended up breathing new life into countless other species across the park. The classic example is what happened in Yellowstone National Park in the United States when wolves were reintroduced in 1995. Now, we all know that wolves hunt animals, but perhaps we're less aware that in doing so, they give life to many others. It all started back in the 1800s when settlers began moving west across America. They brought along cattle, sheep, and other farm animals. But there was one big problem: wolves. To the settlers, wolves weren't part of the wilderness. They were threats, stealing and killing their livestock. The solution seemed simple: get rid of the wolves. The government even paid hunters to do the job. Wolves were trapped, poisoned, and shot across the land. By 1926, Yellowstone had lost its last wolf. People cheered, thinking they had solved the problem. What they didn't realize was that by wiping out the wolves, they had also broken the balance of nature, and the consequences would come crashing down later. When wolves disappeared from Yellowstone in 1926, it triggered what scientists call a trophic cascade, like a row of dominoes falling one after another. Without wolves to hunt them, elk became incredibly bold and could now graze anywhere, anytime, without fear. Imagine going from having to constantly look over your shoulder to being able to eat wherever you want. That's what happened to the elk. Their numbers grew until there were so many that they were eating more plants than the park could regrow. The elk's favorite foods, young willow, aspen, and cottonwood trees, were eaten almost as soon as they sprouted. These trees never got a chance to grow tall. Young trees that would normally grow into tall forests stayed as tiny saplings, continuously eaten down to stumps. This plant destruction affected many other animals. Beavers nearly vanished because they couldn't find enough willow branches to build their dams and feed their families. Without beaver dams, streams flowed faster and straighter, making them less suitable for fish. Birds lost their nesting places in the missing trees. Small mammals lost their hiding places from predators, and even bears were affected because they had fewer berries and plants to eat. Park rangers tried several solutions. They started shooting elk in the 1930s to reduce numbers, tried moving elk to other areas, and even brought in hunters to help control the population. But people didn't like this idea, so they had to stop. Then the elk numbers shot up again, sometimes going over 20,000. But none of these solutions worked well long-term. It was like putting a bandage on a broken arm. It didn't fix the real problem. By the 1990s, the park had changed dramatically. Large areas looked more like golf courses than wilderness. Stream banks were eroding because there weren't enough plants to hold the soil, and the diverse ecosystem that once existed was becoming simpler and poorer. Scientists began to realize that wolves hadn't just been killing elk. They had been architects of the ecosystem, shaping animal behavior and plant growth patterns in ways no one had understood before. Without the wolves, elk would act easily by staying in one spot and eating everything in sight, especially along rivers and in valleys where the tastiest plants grew. Scientists discovered something fascinating called the ecology of fear. Without wolves, elk could graze freely in one place until they'd consumed everything. But wolves create a landscape of fear that forces elk to stay vigilant and keep moving, preventing them from overgrazing any single area. Scientists saw that Yellowstone Park was not healthy after wolves were gone. In 1995, they wanted to bring wolves back to help fix this problem. Many people did not like this idea. Ranchers were afraid wolves would eat their cows and sheep. Hunters were worried wolves would eat too many elk, which they liked to hunt. Some people even spread false stories that the government was making super strong wolves that would kill everything. This was not true at all. The scientists kept explaining why wolves were important for the park. They showed how wolves could make the park healthier. Finally, the government agreed, and wolves came back to Yellowstone. Scientists brought 14 wolves from Canada to Yellowstone in 1995 and added 17 more in 1996. They carefully moved the wolves in special boxes and released them in areas where they could find food and make homes. From these first 31 wolves, their numbers grew to around 100 wolves in just 10 years. In 1995, scientists brought wolves back to Yellowstone Park to make it healthier. They carefully chose 14 wolves from Canada, making sure they were healthy and good at hunting. Each wolf got a special collar so scientists could track where it went. The wolves traveled in wooden boxes by truck and helicopter to their new home. The next year, 17 more wolves joined them. Scientists picked spots to release the wolves where there were plenty of elk to hunt and good places to make dens. The wolves did very well in their new home. By 2004, there were more than 170 wolves living in about 16 different wolf packs. Each pack had its own area for hunting and living. By 2020, the number settled to around 100 wolves in 8 to 9 packs, which was just right for the park. When wolves returned, they changed things in 2 ways. They brought the elk numbers down to about 6,000, and they made elk move around more. The elk couldn't just stand in one place eating anymore because they had to watch out for wolves. One of the best changes was with beavers. In 1995, there was only one family of beavers in the whole park. When wolves made elk move around, young trees started growing again near streams. Beavers need these trees for food and for building their homes. By 2012, there were 9 beaver families in the park. Today, there are so many beavers that scientists have trouble counting them all, maybe more than 20 families. Each family usually has 3 to 8 beavers. The beavers' dams made things better for many animals. These dams turned fast streams into quiet ponds. The ponds made the water cleaner and gave fish good places to live. Frogs came back because they could lay their eggs in the calm water. Ducks and other water birds found new places to live and eat. The dams also helped keep water in streams during dry times. Wolves helped bears too, in several ways. When wolves hunt elk, they don't eat everything, so bears can find these leftover meals. This is especially helpful in spring, when bears wake up hungry from their long winter sleep. Also, because elk weren't eating all the berry bushes anymore, more berries grew for bears to eat. Before winter, bears need to eat a lot. One bear can eat up to 200,000 berries in a single day. The return of wolves to Yellowstone created a wonderful chain of changes that helped more than 20 different kinds of animals thrive. When wolves hunt elk, they don't eat everything, which helps many birds survive. Ravens and magpies learned to follow wolf packs to feed on leftover elk meat. Eagles, both bald and golden, found an important food source in wolf kills, especially during the harsh winter months. Small songbirds returned in greater numbers because more bushes and trees grew back, giving them places to nest and hide. Water birds like ducks, herons, and geese discovered new homes in the ponds created by returning beavers. The changes in elk behavior led to more plants growing, which created better homes for smaller animals. Mice and voles appeared in greater numbers in the taller grass that was no longer eaten down by elk. Ground squirrels increased as they found more plant cover to protect them from predators. Rabbits returned as more bushes grew, giving them places to hide and find food. Porcupines found more trees to eat and live in, helping their numbers grow too. The water animals saw amazing changes thanks to beaver dams and healthier streams. River otters found more places to hunt fish and play. Different kinds of fish, including trout and minnows, got more deep pools to live in as beaver dams created new water habitats. Several types of frogs and toads returned to these calm waters to lay their eggs. More insects appeared around the streams, providing food for fish, birds, and other small animals. Other animals in the park got healthier too. Foxes found plenty of mice and rabbits to hunt in the new, thicker grass. While wolves pushed out some coyotes, the remaining coyotes became healthier by hunting smaller animals instead of depending on elk. Hawks and owls had more small animals to catch, helping their populations grow. Mountain lions adapted their hunting as elk patterns changed. Badgers found more ground squirrels to dig up and eat, and raccoons discovered new food sources in and around beaver ponds. Even small creatures like butterflies and bees did better because more flowers were growing. The plant life in Yellowstone showed incredible improvement. Willow trees grew tall again along streams where elk used to eat them down to the ground. Aspen trees started growing in new places throughout the park. Berry bushes spread out more, providing food for bears and birds. Wildflowers returned to meadows, making the park more colorful and providing food for pollinators. This amazing recovery shows how everything in nature is connected. When wolves returned, they didn't just control the elk population, they helped create a healthier park where all kinds of animals could thrive. Before 1995, Yellowstone had been wolf-free for nearly 70 years. In Yellowstone, these packs quickly established territories, learned the landscape, and began to hunt. Their primary prey was elk, but they also hunted smaller mammals like deer and occasionally took down bison, a challenging but potentially rewarding hunt. Each wolf pack in Yellowstone developed its own personality, its own hunting style, even its own family drama that researchers could follow like some wild animal soap opera. Take the Druid Peak Pack, for example. They became the most famous wolf pack in Yellowstone's history, led by a wolf known as 21M, nicknamed the Gentleman. This pack grew to 37 members, the largest ever recorded in the park. Wolf 21 became legendary, not just for his size and strength, but for his unusual behavior. He never killed defeated rivals, adopted orphaned pups, and stayed with the same mate for life. When his mate died, he stopped eating and died shortly after. Even scientists who try to avoid anthropomorphizing animals admitted this was something special. Each animal plays its own special part in the park's health, but the wolves helped restore a natural balance that had been missing for many years. Scientists continue to discover new ways that wolves have helped make Yellowstone a better home for wildlife. However, not everything has gone smoothly. The wolf reintroduction program has encountered significant challenges. In 2012, a shocking event caused worldwide outrage. Wolf 832F, known to many tourists and researchers as 06 because she was born that year, was legally shot just outside the park. This wasn't just any wolf. She was often called the most famous wolf in the world. She could take down an elk on her own, led her pack with incredible skill, and appeared in many documentaries. At the time of her death, she wore 3 GPS collars because various research projects were studying her. Her death brought attention to a major issue in wolf conservation. What happens when wolves leave the park? Inside Yellowstone, they are safe. But once they step outside, the rules change. Some states have even set up wolf hunting seasons, sparking heated debates between conservationists and local communities. When wolves were brought back to Yellowstone National Park, something incredible happened that nobody expected. These wild animals started making serious money for local communities. How? Through something called wolf tourism. Yes, we are talking about how releasing 14 Canadian wolves into the wild saved $94 billion to the US government. Every year, wolf watching brings $35 million to local communities. People travel from all over the world to see these animals. Some wolf fans spend thousands of dollars on special equipment just to catch a glimpse. Why do people care so much? Wolves are more than just animals. They change how the entire forest works. Tourists want to see this magic happening in real life. The $94 billion story isn't just about money. It's about how one species can completely reshape an environment. Wolves have restored balance to Yellowstone, helping other animals and plants thrive. Reviving forests absorb and hold carbon dioxide, offering a service valued in the billions for combating climate change. Healthier rivers and streams lower water treatment expenses for nearby towns. Restored wetlands act as natural barriers against flooding and store water effectively. And here's a surprising twist. Wolves are actually cutting road maintenance costs. With fewer elk near riverbanks, erosion decreases. Less erosion leads to more stable land, which means roads and bridges endure longer and require fewer repairs. Out of this controversy, something amazing happened. Scientists began studying how wolf packs survive after losing their leaders. They discovered something incredible. Wolf packs are super tough. When the leader wolf dies, the pack doesn't break down. Instead, they reorganize and keep going. It's like they have a secret survival plan. The Yellowstone Wolf Project uncovered surprising things about wolf life that no one knew before. For example, scientists learned that wolves have favorite friends in their pack. They make special connections with certain members, just like humans have best friends. They even show sadness when a pack member dies, which was seen in a video of the famous Wolf 21 mourning her mate. The success of this project has inspired similar wolf studies all around the world. Wolves are making a comeback in Europe, returning to areas they vanished from centuries ago. Scotland is seriously considering bringing wolves back to manage deer populations. Even China is looking at the Yellowstone approach to restore their ecosystems. But the real lesson here isn't about wolves. It's about understanding nature's complex workings that we're just beginning to grasp. Those 14 Canadian wolves did more than change Yellowstone. They transformed our entire view of conservation. They proved that fixing an ecosystem isn't about controlling every little thing, but about returning key missing parts and letting nature work its magic. Sometimes, the best solution is simply to step back and let nature heal itself. Today, 528 wolves live in the Greater Yellowstone ecosystem. They attract over 500,000 visitors to the park annually. These wolves have generated jobs, restored rivers, regrown forests, and saved billions of dollars. Not bad for 14 wolves that nobody wanted in 1995. Here's the ironic twist. Ranchers who once fiercely opposed wolf reintroduction now admit it's benefited their land. The healthier ecosystem provides better grazing for their cattle. Some have even created successful wolf-watching businesses on their own properties. It's a remarkable story of turning bitter opponents into unexpected partners. The wolves of Yellowstone have revealed fascinating aspects of wolf behavior and ecology since their reintroduction, starting with the initial wolves who were fitted with radio collars that provided groundbreaking data about their movements and territory formation, with some individuals traveling over 50 miles to establish new territories. These wolves have developed unique hunting strategies specifically adapted to their Yellowstone environment, becoming particularly adept at hunting bison during harsh winters, an unexpected development that showcased their adaptability. This adaptability extends to their seasonal hunting patterns, where they demonstrate remarkable flexibility by breaking into smaller groups during summer to pursue smaller prey, while hunting as full packs in winter to tackle larger prey like elk and bison. The social structure of these wolves challenges common misconceptions, as packs are typically led by a breeding pair rather than the most aggressive male, with the pack primarily consisting of their offspring from previous years. Their presence has created fascinating ripple effects throughout the ecosystem, notably impacting coyote populations, which has subsequently led to increases in small mammal populations that benefit other predators like foxes and raptors. The Yellowstone wolves have also demonstrated impressive swimming abilities, regularly crossing the Yellowstone River even during high water periods, and using rivers as natural territory boundaries. Scientists have made surprising discoveries about their social behavior, including instances of wolves adopting pups from other packs, revealing unexpected social flexibility. Their role as a keystone species is evident in how their winter kills provide sustenance for at least 12 other species, from grizzly bears to mice and insects, creating a complex web of ecological relationships throughout the park. Research has shown that Yellowstone wolves prefer to prey on older or weaker elk, which helps maintain a healthier elk population. This natural selection process helps control diseases in prey populations. Scientists continue to uncover new impacts of wolf reintroduction. Just recently, they discovered wolves might help protect other species by removing sick animals from the population. They're essentially nature's own health and quality control system. You've just completed an incredible journey about how 14 wolves transformed an entire ecosystem and saved billions of dollars. If you've learned something new about nature's incredible ability to heal itself when given a chance, remember this story. Next time someone says one small change can't make a big difference, tell them about the remarkable wolves of Yellowstone. Their story proves that even the smallest intervention can spark massive positive transformation. Nature's resilience is truly amazing. And with that, we've reached the end of our exploration into the incredible world of Yellowstone's wolves. From their remarkable family bonds and hunting strategies to their surprising swimming abilities and crucial role in the ecosystem, these wolves continue to amaze scientists and nature enthusiasts alike. Did you find their unique behaviors as fascinating as we did? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe share which wolf fact surprised you the most. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more amazing animal stories coming your way. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.